Good evening, everyone. I'm so sorry today. I was so stuck. I was stuck in traffic, and I was on my way to a little studio in the office where I transmit this every Monday. And I don't know what happened on that road. Everywhere was just blocked. Been stuck there for about an hour. But it's I'm so sorry about this for those of you who have been waiting for me. Anyway, I'm here now. So sorry about that one more time. Well, today is another Monday, and it's time for a talk show. Let's share it. I hope you had a very nice weekend. I had a very restful weekend. I've actually been trying in the past couple of weeks to make sure I rest over the weekend. So I did have a little rest this weekend because it makes you refreshed to face the new week, isn't it? So I do hope you also had a very lovely weekend. Well, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time today, my name is Tony Ogunbanjo, and I'm here on behalf of the Listeners Charity. We are an award winning charity operating in the Royal Borough of Greenwich. And we've been here now for the past 14 years, still counting. End of this month, we will clock 14 years. It's interesting. So I don't know where that time flew. The time just is just blown away. Because when I look at it, and I'm just wondering, how come it's already 14 years? On the 30th of this month, exactly, it will clock 14 years since listening here started. I really want to thank God, to be honest, because it's been a lot of work, and thank God for His grace, thank God for His mercies, thank God for the enablement to reach all the lives that we have been able to touch positively in the space of that 14 years. So listening ears mainly provides comfort to those who are hurting. So, and in doing that, we provide emotional health and lifestyle support service to people in our community. And we do that through three different areas of our passion, which is about reducing isolation among the elderly people. And then, of course, supporting young girls up to the age of 19 to help them, to nurture them and empower them and get them ready on that journey to adolescence or to womanhood, if you like. And then, of course, we support people to take control of your health, basically. Take some small steps of change to ensure you achieve healthier, um, a healthier life, and of course, be in more control of what happens to your health. Well, Rosebud clocked 10. Thank you again one more time for all of you who came online last Saturday, because last week Saturday it was the anniversary of the Rosebud Center for Girls. The project clocked 10 years, 10 years of having touched so many lives. I mean, we were talking, and then on our books, we've had well over 800 girls pass through that project, which is, for me, I think with due humility, that's a very huge achievement. We've been able to minister to at least about 800 girls in different ways. And we are proud to say many of our girls are now graduates, girls who have been through Rosebud. And we have a lot of them who are doing very well in their chosen areas of vocation. And we have God to thank for everything. I want to say thank you also to all those who have been our supporters, those of you who have been our sponsors, those of you who have been our donors, particularly the monthly donors. No matter how little the amount you are giving us every month, it is going a long way, because it allows us to plan ahead, and to be able to offer our services, because as a charity, all our services are usually free. I mean, in times of this pandemic, for instance, where there hasn't been any funding from all the funders, all the attention has been, diverted to some other places. So it is those of you who have been giving us donations that have actually kept us going. And I want to use this opportunity to still appeal to all of you out there that please, 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 we are still looking for sponsors, for donors. We call you partners. You become our partner by registering to give us donation on a regular basis. You set up a direct debit, and then you give us your donation every month, no matter how little. Some people give us £5, as little as £5, and it is doing a lot. Some give us 10, some give us 15, some 20, some 50. Whatever you want to give us is hugely appreciated. And if you want to give us 1,000,000, trust me, I'm not going to say no. We are happy to take your 1,000,000. So the Feel Good Project is our center for elderly people, and that is the area where we try to support those who are elderly to reduce isolation and loneliness amongst them. We have two clubs, one that runs on a Wednesday and one on a Friday, but the two of them we've merged together now to run it online since the pandemic. So every Wednesday and Friday, if you have elderly people who will want to chill out and make friends, we do the exercises online because they do physical exercise to keep their limbs moving. So we run the workshops on the sessions online from 12 o'clock every Wednesday and Friday. So, and it is open. So you can, if you have any elderly person at home or your neighbor who you think are just on their own and they are lonely, as long as you can just show them how to use the Zoom, and then they can come on the boat, they are welcome. For our girls project, the sessions are still running online. They are running on Zoom from Tuesdays to Fridays. The sessions are between 5 and 6 o'clock, and on Saturdays from 11 to 1. Saturdays is their cookery club, and at the moment they are doing different types of baking. So if you have any girl between the ages of 9 and 16, please go on the website rosebudcenter.org. You can download the registration form there and register your girl or your niece or your daughter or your granddaughter. We'll be happy to meet them. Yeah, so that's it about listening ears for those of you who are joining us for the first time. And on this program, Let's Share It is a talk show where we want to share different information with you. If people have challenges they want to talk about, we can discuss it. We will give you suggestions of solutions or the way forward to whatever it is you are dealing with. And then, of course, we can share information that is very helpful, particularly around health and lifestyle, which is the area where we are actually very passionate. And I always say it, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, but I'm a health and lifestyle consultant. So I can work with you to support you to look at your health, your eating habits, and how you can actually take control of your health and improve regardless of whatever your health condition is. You can still take small steps and achieve very positive changes in the way you manage your health. So we've been talking about, we were talking about heart health, and then last week we started to talk about healthy eating. Last week I went through with you on what is called your Eat Well plate. I hope you have your notes and pens with you so that you can jot down a few things. And I'll be happy to take questions if you have any question as we go on. A lot of our time today had been spent in the traffic. I'm so sorry about that again for those who are joining for the first time. So today we will discuss on fruits and vegetables, and we'll explore ways of eating them in the right proportion. If we have enough time, we can look at carbohydrates. I mean, things like your bread, your rice, your potatoes, your pasta, and other starchy foods. But the main concentration of our discussion today is going to be on fruits and vegetables. Now, without any ado, everybody know that it is very important to eat your fruits and your vegetables, because research has shown that eating a diet that includes a wide range of fruit and vegetables is good for your heart. You remember when we started this 2 weeks ago, it was with the heart. We were talking about the heart health, because the heart is the what is it called now? Is the powerhouse of the whole body. That's your control, the control tower for the body. Once the heart is healthy, I mean, all other parts of the body will just fall in line. That's why it's so important to concentrate on the heart and see how can we get it very healthy so that you can be functioning in an optimum performance. So of course, when you eat your fruits and vegetables in the right proportion, it is very good for your heart. And of course, it can help you to reduce the risk of developing coronary heart diseases. Now, these foods, fruits and vegetables, they provide us with vitamins, minerals, and they contain a lot of water, which means that their energy content, which is what you will call calorie, is very low. Then the fiber they contain also makes them filling to eat. So, and it helps our digestive system to be very healthy. Now, you remember when I told you last week, when we were talking about the Eat Well plate, I said about a third of the food we eat should be made up of fruits and vegetables. So if you are out there and the bulk of what you are eating has been the other way around, it's something we have to start to work on. And like I say to people, you don't need to be hard on yourself. The important thing is to make up your mind that this is something you need to do. And then you look at taking some small steps of change. I don't expect you, if you haven't been eating for instance, I think the school of thought is that we have to eat 5 portions of fruits and vegetables every day. But if you are the type who has not even been eating one, I wouldn't expect you to start to eat 5 from tomorrow because I said so, because it's going to be completely unrealistic and it's going to be unachievable. So you are going to be really very smart about it and take what we call small steps of change. For instance, if you haven't been eating your fruits and vegetables, or you have been doing it haphazardly, or you've been doing it sporadically, you can first take a decision to say, you know what, I want to start to do it consistently. And then once you take that decision as your first step, the next step is now you want to set a very small goal, small target that you can achieve. For instance, you can say, I will eat one fruit every day. So if you can commit to that and start to eat at least one fruit every day, by the time you do it for about a week, your body gets used to it, your lifestyle gets used to it. The following week, you can decide to promote yourself from one fruit to two. And then gradually, before you know what is happening, you'll be eating your 5 a day. But you see, if you don't start, you can't do it. And if you don't make up your mind to start, you won't start. So that is the important thing, making up your mind, deciding that this is something I want to do and I need to do, and then I desire to do it. And then you take a step and start to do it. Now, we have agreed that a third of your food should contain fruits and vegetables. And as I've said, you should aim to have 5 portions a day. But like I said, you don't have to do that now if you haven't been doing it. Of course, if you have been doing it, that's kudos to you. I clap for you. You can continue to do it. Make sure you don't reduce it. But if you haven't, it is never too late. Today can be your first day to start. Also, you need to try to eat a variety of fruits and vegetables so that you can benefit from all the different nutrients. Because all these fruits and vegetables, they all have different nutrients. I mean, what you are going to get in carrot, for instance, is not what you are going to get in kiwi. Your carrot, for instance, has very high content of vitamin A, which is good for your eyes. Meanwhile, your kiwi is very rich in vitamin C. So you see, if you eat only carrots, of course you will improve your eyesight. But then what happens to your immune system that you want to boost with your content of consumption of vitamin C? So it is so crucial to make sure we eat a variety of all these fruits and vegetables. Can I just sound a note of information here? Because sometimes a lot of people say, oh, I don't like this particular fruit, I don't like that. You see, when you are talking about maintaining a healthy lifestyle, it's not about eating only what you like or only what you are used to already. It's about exploring. Take it. I mean, these things cannot kill you. You know, there was a time, although it's a very long time ago, I couldn't eat kiwi. The first time I tasted it, oh my God, I hated the taste of it in my mouth. But then when I now, for some reason, I think I went to read the information about the benefits and the nutrients in kiwi. Oh my goodness. When I saw, I thought, oh, this is what I've been missing. So I thought, you know what, I will try. Then I tried. Then I now discovered that it was because the first one I tried wasn't actually ripe. That was what happened. So it was a little hard. So then when I bought another one and I saw that one was a little softer, so I tend to enjoy that better. But you know what? I squeezed my face, yeah, but I still ate it anyway because I made up my mind I need to eat this thing. So I made up my mind, I started eating it. Now I eat kiwi like no man's business. So it's about trying to just let your imaginations give yourself a chance to try things, to explore. Yeah, that's the word I've been looking for. Exploration. You need to explore a lot of things, varieties of things you haven't eaten before. Try them. So we need to eat so many types, so many varieties of food, of fruits and vegetables, so that we can get the nutrients that we need from each and every one of them. And then there are 5 ways to get your 5 a day. They can be frozen, they can be fresh, they can be tinned. But if you are taking the tinned one, please, please, please make sure it is canned in water. Because one of the episodes on this program before, I have told you about all the preservations of canned. For me, actually, I prefer, if I have my way, I prefer my fruits and vegetables to be fresh. I don't even do the canned one at all. But you see, I don't like to make life difficult for people because there are some people, it may not be convenient for them. It might be the canned one that is easy for them to lay their hands on. That's fine. That's a good place to start. It is still better to take that than to take nothing at all. But I don't do no cans at all because for me, I love it fresh. That's where you get the best nutrients actually, when you eat your fruits and vegetables fresh. But if you have to take the canned ones, please remember, don't buy it if it is preserved in brine or in a syrup. That's just no, no, no. If it is preserved in brine, brine is another deceptive way of telling you it is salt. And if it is in syrup, it's another way of telling you it's loaded with sugar. And when we are talking about healthier lifestyle, when we are talking about healthy eating, part of the things you want to reduce is sugar. Part of the things you want to reduce is your salt. Because if you take too much sugar, all of us know the downside of it. If you have too much salt, you are writing express delivery letters to high blood pressure and hypertension and all stuff like that. So then you can also have dried or juiced. I love my smoothie. I take my smoothie every day. And that's one of my own best ways of having my food. I still take, like today now, I've had my apple. Sometimes I have apple, I have banana, I have kiwi. Depends on what I have in the house, but I always make sure I have loads of fresh fruits in the house. And then I don't even joke with my smoothie. I have that. It's like a ritual for me every day. So what I do, basically, maybe I can actually use this opportunity to give you a hint on how I have been able to successfully be taking my smoothie on a regular basis without fail. You see, because if you want to start to go to the shop on a daily basis to buy ingredients for your smoothie, you may never, after some time, you'll be discouraged. That's the reality of it. You get fed up and all that. So what I do, when I go to the shop or to the market, I buy, I can buy about 4 pieces of mango. I can buy about 2 pieces of pineapple. I buy my kiwi. I buy different things. I buy my beetroot. So when I get home, I wash all of them and I dice them and I freeze them separately. I put them in a tray, put a greaseproof paper on my tray and then spread those fruits and then put it in the freezer so that by the time they are frozen in separate pieces. So they are not stuck together. Because when they are stuck together, that can be very frustrating when you want to do your smoothie. So I pack them like that. And in the shops, in Morrison's, Lidl, all of them, they sell frozen fruits. But me, I just like my own things fresh. The frozen one, I prefer to do my freezing myself. So I can date it. I know when I bought it, I know when I cut it, and I know when I froze it. So I can be able to be in absolute control. I'm not being forcible. That's just how I do my own thing. You don't have to do that if it is not convenient for you. But for me, at the end of the day, the important thing is to reach your goal, which is making sure you consume these things every day. So once I've done that, then I get these Ziploc bags. I have loads of them. I get a pack from Asda. Asda has maybe a pack of 50 for less than maybe £2 or £3. So I get it, and then I package these fruits separately as I've frozen them, and then I put them back in the freezer. I freeze them. So what I now do every morning, I take the different types I want. Most of the time, in fact, there is no day my smoothie on an average, my smoothie every day contains an average of about 8 different types of fruits every day. And I enjoy it. I love it because I usually make sure I'll have strawberries, I'll have kiwi, I'll have mango, I'll have a pineapple, I'll have beetroot, and then that's already 5. What I have now started very lately, because I decided to be balancing it with my vegetables. So now what I have started to add, I've added carrots, I've added um I added, there is another vegetable I've added. I'm trying to, yeah, I've added carrots, I've added kale, because kale is very good, it's very nutritious, and then I've also added, sometimes I add some parsley. Yeah, I don't just add a few different kinds of vegetables. So I now blend everything together and I have it every day. So it's like having my 8 a day instead of the 5 a day. Yes, celery. So I was trying to remember. Yes, I buy celery. As a matter of fact, what I was thinking of this morning, because you see, I bought that celery on Saturday. So I cut it this morning when I was making my smoothie. So I was now thinking, you see, because celery, when you buy celery in a bunch, the one I used last week, after about 3 or 4 days, it doesn't really, even though it's still in the fridge, but it doesn't look as fresh as it was when you bought it initially. So I was just thinking this morning, I get all my inspirations when I'm in the shower. So this morning I was just thinking, what can I do? I don't think it just came to my mind. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do with the celery is that I'm going to cut them like celery sticks, and then I'm going to freeze them so that the day I buy them from the shop, that it is very fresh, I can cut it on that day and I can freeze it. So any day I want to use it, it will be as fresh as if I have just bought it. That's what I just thought about this morning. I haven't done it. It's still in my fridge because the idea came to me this morning and I thought, you know what? So maybe, I don't know, if I get home early enough this evening, if I can still do it, I will do it. Otherwise, I'll probably sort that out tomorrow. But that's something else I have thought about. So those are very easy ways you can easily just get your fruits and vegetables in. And then, but if you now juice, the juice counts as only one portion. So if you know you want to have it for all the juice, you have to mix so much of it together and then have a very reasonable proportion so that it will be able to account for what you are supposed to have for the day. But that still doesn't stop you from eating your fruit properly. Like I said, I've already had my apple today and my banana, and then I'm still probably going to have carrots in the evening and things like that. So you just need to balance all these things and have as many varieties as possible. Now, the next question that I will expect anybody to ask me is how much is a portion? So in trying to see how much is a portion, if you have a little kitchen scale, a portion, an adult portion is about 80 grams. That's about 3 ounces of fresh, frozen or tinned fruit or of vegetables is about 80 grams. So some examples of one portion, I will give you that in a little moment. But then one portion is about 8 grams. Then children should also have their 5 portions of fruit and vegetables every day, but their own portion should be adjusted to that of a child. They don't have to take as much as we need to take as adults. Then the handful measurement works well for children too. So you can use your hands, your child's hands, to be a guide for their own portion. Now I will tell you what constitutes about that 80 grams. I'll just give you some tips around some varieties. So it will be up to you. You can, but for me, you just kind of, anyway, I'll give you that breakdown, and then you can be flexible with it and just adjust this as it is convenient and suitable for you. Now, fresh fruits, if they are small fruits, for instance, you want to look at 2 plums, you want to look at 2 satsumas, you want to look at about maybe 7 to 8 strawberries, or cherries. Those are what you will call a portion. Then if they are large fruits, if they are medium-sized fruits, like a banana, you want to look at 1 apple, you want to look at 1 banana or 1 pear or 1 orange or 1 nectarine. Those ones will be their 1 portion. But if they are very large fruits, you can talk of half of a grapefruit, you can talk of 1 slice of papaya, or you can talk of 1 slice of lemon, or you can talk of 2 slices of mango or 1 large slice of pineapple. So that is what constitutes a portion. So do you now see what I'm talking about? If you are doing your smoothie, you see the amount you have to put together. So otherwise, if you know that you are only having about half that portion in your smoothie, which is most likely, then of course you still have to supplement it with your regular proper fruit that you just eat raw without blending it. And then if it is a dried fruit, you are talking of 1 tablespoon of raisins or currants, or mixed fruit, you are talking about 2 dried figs or about 3 dried prunes. So it depends on what you want to take. If you are talking in terms of the one that is the juice, you are looking at a glass which is 150 mils of unsweetened. We don't add any sugar or any whatever to it, but you are looking at about 150 mils. And then if you are looking at green vegetables, you are looking at 2 broccoli spears, your broccoli spears. So 2 of them will be like a portion, or 3 heaped tablespoons of cabbage, spring greens or green beans. And then if you are looking at cooked vegetables, you are looking at about 3 heaped tablespoons of cooked vegetables, maybe carrots or sweet corn and stuff like that. Then if you are looking at salad vegetables, you are looking at 2-inch pieces of cucumber, or 1 medium tomato, or 7 cherry tomatoes. And then of course, if you are looking at pulses and beans, you are looking at 3 heaped teaspoons of maybe baked beans, of haricot beans, kidney beans, and all that. All those ones, you can always have all those varieties. Even eating them, for instance, I love my kidney beans. I love eating kidney beans with rice. It's so lovely, so lovely. I enjoy it a lot because, and one question that just came to my mind now that somebody was asking, and I thought I was going to bring it up when we get to this point on this discussion today. Was somebody asked me that they say it is not good to eat rice, and I said there is nothing that is not good to eat. It's about what portion you are eating and how are you eating it. For instance, if you have your rice, number one, if you really can, it is better to eat unpolished rice. which is either like what my people call ofada rice, or maybe the brown rice, the whole grain rice. But if you have to eat white rice, it is always good to make sure, number one, your portion to be small, and then you can now bulk it up with a lot of salad or other kinds of vegetables. So when I want to eat rice, I like to add it with kidney beans. I love kidney beans, and one of the ways you can really enjoy it, when your rice is almost done, once you've washed your kidney beans and of course you've rinsed it in water, and then if you add it to the rice and let it now simmer together, it's lovely. It's very lovely. So I like it. I enjoy it a lot. So that allows you to be able to add some of your vegetables that you are supposed to have added. When you add some salad, when you add some cabbage, you can add some. You can just be creative. Like I always tell people, for me, the joy of cooking and eating is in the creativity. I don't like, as a matter of fact, I don't like very rigid recipes that this is what you must cook. Put this and put that. I like freedom in the kitchen, my cooking. I like my freedom to just drum up whatever thing I want to call my own recipe and just drum them together. In fact, that's the time you enjoy it most. Very creative. Not that you can't even give it any name. I have a lot of recipes that are just throwing recipe because I made them up myself. Nobody taught me what it was. I just decided to put things together. Particularly, times that if for example, it's a weekend or something, or a day you just don't want to go out, maybe it's already late in the evening or something like that, and then you are peckish or you're thinking, oh, I had thought I was going to go to the shops today to pick up blah blah blah, but then you discover that you don't even have the time in your hands, and then you get in your fridge, you find all sorts of leftovers there. By the time you just put all of them together, you'll be amazed at how delicious the thing will look. As long as they are balanced, you have some fruit, some vegetables there, you have some carbohydrates, you have some protein, you have everything. Just drop everything together. You'll be amazed. I mean, that was how I came about one recipe that is now my signature recipe among our feel good center service users, because that particular day I just thought, what do I want to eat today? And I know I had potato in the fridge, I had chicken in the freezer, I had some green beans, I had some sweet corn and all that. And then I just decided, I'll just make a medley of this thing. And then I boiled the chicken and then I boiled the potato. I added everything together, put the green peas, put the sweet corn, put some onions in it, put some little blended pepper and tomato and all that, and put a tablespoon of oil. By the time I finished, oh no, it was so lovely. And since then, I've experimented that particular day. The first day I did it, I used chicken. Now I use different things. I now do it as a deliberate meal. So I've been able to put in some kind of improvement to it, so that even if you came to visit me and I serve you as your dinner, in fact you'll be saying, no, Tony, can I have a little bit more? So sometimes I do it with a fish. Sometimes I do it with prawns. I love my prawns. I just do it with different things, and at other times I can just decide to use different types of seafood and just get creative with it and explore different stuff. I just enjoy my food, and that's it. So please be creative in the kitchen. You don't have to go by any kind of rule or whatever. Just be creative. The important thing, as long as you make sure you are eating a balanced diet, that's the important thing. Once it is balanced, how it is done or what you put together, you know. So back to our point. Now, so much so. The next part of our plate that I want us to pick today, which is the second one, we'll take the rest next week, is the part that has like our carbohydrates, that has the bread, the rice, the potatoes, the pasta, and other starchy foods. These are the foods that you should actually base your meals around, as well as bread, rice, potato, and pasta. These food groups, they also include things like chapati, like yam, like plantain, and even couscous. So, but it is very crucial that you choose whole grain or high fiber versions of all these starchy foods whenever you can. I mean, like I said just when I was talking a few minutes ago about the rice, that if you can pick brown rice, you are better off than the white rice. Anytime you can pick the whole grain version, it is better. Starchy foods, they are very filling to eat, especially if you choose the high fiber or the whole grain versions. They even fill you up more than the polished ones. And then the fiber there is very important to keep your digestive system very healthy. You know, if your digestive system is not healthy, that is the beginning of a lot of problems in our body. Because if it's like, if you don't process, your digestive system does not process what you already had before, and you are eating another one, you are going to be bloated, all sorts of discomfort. In fact, I don't even need to start to go through it, because it's unimaginable how horrible your system will be if your digestive system is not healthy. So it is very important to make sure you have enough fiber so that your digestive system will be functioning properly. And all these foods also provide energy that is released very slowly, so that they will keep you going until the next meal time and make you less tempted to snack in between meals. You see, one of the major reasons why people snack in between meals is because of the way they eat. For instance, if you want to eat your meal, if you base it on high fiber, high, yes, high starchy things, and then but the healthy options, if you base it on that, it will bulk it up and make you feel full. Invariably, you will be drinking more water than having to top up eating all sorts of snacks, and that's when you'll be tempted to be eating junky stuff. And a lot of times, can I also sound this note of warning? A lot of times, one of the things I have discovered is that a lot of times we're actually thirsty, but we think we are hungry. So, can I just say as a hint today that next time you think you feel hungry, why don't you drink water first and see if you still really feel hungry? Because a lot of times our bodies are dehydrated, and then the body is asking and begging you for water, and you think you are hungry. So it is very important to make sure we take enough water and reduce how many times you just keep eating in between meals. As a matter of fact, if we can try not to eat in between meals at all, but to drink water in between meals, it would be nice. If we have to eat in between meals, we have to make sure what you are going to eat in between meals will be fruits or nuts. If we can do that, because those ones, they wouldn't bulk you up, but then they will give you a lot of nutrients in your system. And these foods also, the group, food in this group, in this particular group we are talking about, they often get a very bad reputation that they make you fat. But that's only true if you add lots of fats to them when you are cooking or you are preparing them. Let's take a typical example. Let's look at your potato. For instance now, potato on its own, it's very healthy. But depending on how it is prepared, if for instance you fry your potato, the fat that you have used to fry it has made it to shift to the category of being unhealthy. But if you steam it, it is better for you, it is healthier for you, and it's just better. Or if you grill it, and the potato, for instance, if you that's why I said we should be creative. For instance, if you want to do your potato and you don't like cooked potato, if you like it to look like it's fried or grilled, you can be creative. If you put what I do when I get my potatoes, if I really feel like the grilled ones, what I do to make it interesting and attractive, I get my potatoes. I usually just wash the skin with the wire sponge. I don't usually peel my potatoes because you get a lot of a lot of roughage from the skin. So what I do, I use my wire sponge to wash it so I can remove all the sand and everything that is there. And then, of course, any kind of little blemishes that are there, I can use the tip of my knife to dig it out. So once I wash it like that, I chop it into big wedges. And then you can put it on the fire with some water and just let it boil for maybe about 5 minutes, just to soften it a little bit. And then once it has boiled about 10 minutes, depending on how big the chunks are. If they are not too big, about 5 minutes should be enough once it boils for 5 minutes. But if you have chunked them in very large portions, maybe about 10 minutes. Drain it. Once you have drained it, you can just take, the oil spray. Just spray a little bit, which would come to less than a quarter of a teaspoon. Just spray a little bit of oil, and then you now get some black pepper. You can get some coriander powder. You can get some nutmegs. You can get parsley, depending on what you like. Sprinkle all these herbs and spices on your potato and shake it and shove into the oven. By the time it is done, trust me, you will love the taste. It's going to be so lovely, and it's very filling, and it is healthy. But if you now get the same potato and you put it in your deep fat fryer, that means you have completely killed it. So that's why a lot of people who tell you when you eat things like potato, you eat this, you eat things that are carbohydrates, it makes you fat. I actually, with a lot of, without any disrespect, I disagree with them. I think it depends on how you have prepared it and how you have eaten it and what you have consumed it with. For instance, when some people make mashed potatoes, they think they must always put butter in it, which is wrong. Well, it is unhealthy. I wouldn't say it's wrong because people are free to do what they like. I'm only here to just give you some advice. I cannot give you instructions. So you are still free to do what you like to do. But if you do mashed potatoes, you don't have to put butter if you don't want to. It doesn't mean that if butter is not there, it will not be nice. It will still be the same thing. So about a third of the food that we eat, they need to be made up of this particular group that I've just told you about. And you should include them, some of them, in every meal. And the exact quantity that you will put there, it will depend on the need of the person who is going to eat it. And then how active that person is, that is what is going to determine how much of it they are going to eat. Yeah, I'll just quickly run through the milk and dairy foods because we have just less than 15 minutes more. The milk and dairy foods, that's the next side of the next portion of our Eat Well plate. And these are foods that are important for your protein, for your calcium, and they also provide your vitamins A and B12. However, the fat content varies a lot between different foods in this group, and much of the fat they contain is saturated fat. So you need to choose lower fat options such as semi-skimmed milk. If you want to drink milk, the one with the green cap, that's the semi-skimmed milk. That is much healthier than the blue cap. The blue cap is the full fat milk. And then if you like, you can actually take skimmed milk, which is the one with the red cap. So it's up to individuals, and it's up to what is the need, what is the health need you think you have. For instance, and I say this without disrespect, if somebody is already overweight, for example, and you are looking at losing weight, I tell people, I have said it here several times on different episodes, I don't believe in crash dieting. What you just need to do is just take a little step at a time. Just take a little step at a time, and then you can just be reducing your weight gradually. For instance, little things like your milk. You just go for the option of the semi-skimmed milk. Gradually, you are reducing your intake. If you eat cheese or butter, you look at you one of these days, I think within the next couple of episodes, I'm going to go through the how to read the labels with you guys. Because once you understand that secret of how to read the labels, because when you go into the shops, a lot of all these food manufacturers, they like to deceive us. They just tell us, they blast it as a big advert, contains less fat, as they put it so big on the product. And the moment people see that, they think, oh, this is healthier because it contains less fat. A lot of times it's a lie, because when they tell you it contains less fat, sometimes they have added to the sugar or they have added to the salt to still make it taste okay. So one of these, maybe within the next, once we finish the Eat Well plate next week, maybe the week after, I'm going to go through the reading the labels with you, so that once you understand that, because that's the secret of shopping healthily. So I'm going to go through that with you, and then you'll be able to understand and take well-informed decisions. Then you can also benefit from protein, calcium, and other nutrients in the milk, still, even without taking the blue cap one, because that means you don't have any saturated fat going with it. So as a guide, 2 to 3 portions of milk and dairy foods a day should be enough to meet the average adult's requirement for calcium. And this includes milk in hot drinks and on cereal, and milk that you have as a drink, maybe things like yogurts, like cheese and all that. So if you don't drink milk or eat dairy foods, it may be useful to use a milk substitute, such as something like a soya milk with added calcium. And then when you want to do that, try to go for the unsweetened versions. I'm afraid that's all we are going to be able to take today, and until next week. I'd like to say thank you to all of you for your time, for tuning in today. And I also want to use this opportunity again to say thank you to all those who have been supporting our charity from inception, those who are our partners. And I want to appeal to all of you who are listening to me that we still need more partners. Please go on our website, listeningears.org. You will find all the information there. You find our account details and how to become our partner. Or you can send an email to help@listeningears.org. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send me an email on help@listeningears.org or to feelgoodcenters@gmail.com. So until next week, Monday, I'd like to say thank you very much for tuning in, and God bless you. Have a wonderful week. Thank you. Bye-bye. Facebook fans.